Hey man, they're smoked. They have no shot. Bam, bam, 2 goals. England's going home.
Down in Oklahoma, there's a place called Henryetta. They don't allow no dancing in that town. So if you want to mix the sexes, then you better go to Texas, or you'll be in the city jail for the sun goes down.
Good morning, Green Country. Happy Saturday, happy weekend, and welcome to the show. Live from Henryetta, America. Love Ford and Henryetta, Highway 75 and I-40, the crossroads, the center of the universe. And Henryetta is home to a 16-time world champion, bronc rider, bull rider, all-around cowboy, the great Jim Shoulders. And Henryetta, Oklahoma is also home to a 3-time Super Bowl champion, a Hall of Famer, got his own beer. The guy's the last Dallas Cowboy quarterback to win a Super Bowl, the last any Cowboy to win a Super Bowl, the great Troy Aikman. And last but not least, one of the greatest actresses of all time. She played in great movies that won Oscars. She won a Tony. She played in great TV shows like Designing Women and Bewitched, the great Alice Ghostly. And again, been a minute, but I have one of my favorite special guests, David Garrett, who is also from Henryetta. And thanks for joining me again, David.
My pleasure. It keeps me relevant. I have a lot of fun.
You're so relevant. David, if you've watched some of our old shows, is an old sportscaster. And he used to call the Dallas Cowboys the New Orleans Saints. So pumped to have him. Are you a soccer fan by chance?
I watched I was on vacation in North Carolina, and all the people that I was in vacation condo with all loved it. So I watch it. I get it. I've called some play-by-play of soccer, but
okay, so you know soccer a little bit.
A little bit.
Okay, because I don't.
I saw that clip.
So there's a lot of people like me that just fired up because the World Cup and USA was in it, and then USA's out, so they're not soccer fans anymore.
I'm not in that group, by the way.
So I would look at the game and I'm like, why are you stopping? You guys are supposed to be awesome athletes. You're runners, right? And go to the goal, get it and go. And now I'm breaking it down, the offside thing. Okay, I get it. That's why they're cutting it short, because they don't want to be offsides, which is, correct me if I'm wrong, you have to have 2 players behind you before the ball gets there of the opposite team. One can be the goalie. So really legitimately one. So you can't break just in front of them until the ball gets there. I never could get it. I was just like, why did you stop running? You clearly got your guy beat, but they can't. So I get that. So I don't know why. I guess nothing else was on. I watched the Argentina game the other night against England. That was pretty exciting. The last 15 minutes of it anyways. It was like, hey man, they're smoked. They have no shot. Bam, bam, 2 goals. England's going home, and Argentina's still playing. And I guess this is Messi's last deal. He's 39 years old. Good for him. But yeah, it was actually kind of cool. So not a soccer guy. And I don't know how many more soccer matches I'll watch, but that wasn't bad.
You know what I like, Brad?
What's that?
I like the way the nation or the fandom of each of the teams turned out in each of the cities they traveled. Some traveled through Henryetta.
Yeah, absolutely.
Going to their venues, the support, the flags. And I'm not even talking about the United States. I'm talking about the allegiance that all of the other fandoms from the teams that continue to advance go bonkers. And I really like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And we were just talking about, okay, everybody got fired up because USA was in it and we're soccer fans now and everything like that. But we're nothing. If you saw the stands, I mean, there was some serious tears shed on both sides. Happy when Argentina came back and got those 2 goals, just tears like it's like, I don't know. They would rather that win versus losing their house or something.
Give up their first child for a World Cup.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
England the same way, opposite. They were just crushed that they didn't win. So, I mean, I wanted the USA to win because I love the United States of America, but I didn't shed a tear. I gotta tell you.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm indifferent to it. It's good, but it's not all.
Yeah. So yeah, Sunday we're gonna Argentina and Spain. You got a winner?
Oh, Argentina's kind of been an underdog, and Spain has, got its stars, and I probably root for Argentina if you were to ask me to pick a side. I've got to find some yellow and blue, I guess.
Yeah, well, it's gonna go down, and I guess Saturday later on today they're gonna play a third. That don't make any sense to me either. Why are we playing a match for third place? It's not like the Olympics and you get a bronze medal. It's like we got third.
Well, we're too Americanized, and I think some of that is just tradition, and they didn't adapt the rules to fit the United States fans or our demand for sudden death overtime or full overtime or 3-point shot or 2-point shot, or we've bent the rules here and there to make it a better game, and I got you.
I'll tell you this too on that game. So they had 9 minutes of overtime, and then it kept going and going and going, and the announcers were going, okay, this is England's last chance, and they go down there, Argentina bring it back. Oh, there's still time, this is England's last chance. He said this is England's last chance like 7 times. How do we know when the game ends?
Well, there is a method to it, and there's a person with a clock, and they actually clock the downtime for injuries or others. And again, I don't know the specifics, but the players on the field know or have a good idea, and there is an official back and forth timekeeper to add additional time, not overtime, but additional time inside regulation, as I think what we're referring to.
Yeah.
And it doesn't go sudden death, it goes an extra period.
But the announcers didn't know.
No.
We didn't know. Maybe that's part of the excitement of soccer. You don't know when it's going to end.
As a play-by-play guy, I would not guess.
Kind of like a Lord of the Rings
guessing.
movie. Oh, movie's over. What? What are you talking about? They're just walking up the hill. Yeah, I don't know. That's how it was. Whatever. So yeah, I'm not on it, but that was pretty exciting. Anyways, what else we got going? Last time we talked on this show, we didn't talk about.
Yes, sir. That's it. And Boomer Sooner baseball in a blowout wins the national championship.
No, we were staging, and you were leaving town, and and no, they've won it since.
And you went out of town, so you couldn't go with it. Yeah. So yeah, that was awesome. What a crazy!
It got hot.
They went
on the backs of freshman pitchers. They
went from super ice cold to just blazing hot and just smoked it. Yeah, that was awesome. That's always a good trip, but for sure better when you come home with a natty. So anyways,
we can all buy a t-shirt.
Oh yeah.
You probably have more than that.
I did not get a t-shirt. I got my traditional keychain, which I throw on every time I go there. So I like to go there. No, I'm not a big Omaha t-shirt kind of guy. Plus they're like 200% higher than you can get them on eBay if you just wait. But no, I didn't get one.
I'm a polo
and you got to
guy.
carry it around, and you got to carry it around.
Yeah, right. I'm a polo guy. Put a logo on it, and I'll wear it. But I'm not a big t-shirt guy either.
Yeah, I'm not. RT went. He got a shirt, and I ain't carrying all that stuff around. We're here to have fun, watching baseball. I'll go get a Jello shot across the street, which I think changed our luck. So I actually won the natty for him.
There's not a doubt.
Yeah, it was my good luck, fortune. We lost a hero in the entertainment world this week. I don't know if you've heard this, but Hal Williams. You know who that is?
You're going to catch me with a blank.
Yeah, he played Officer Smitty on Sanford and Son. If you don't know who that is the guy. He had the white sidekick that was in there, and he would come in and he goes, "Oh, I hear you, cousin." And he's the guy, Officer Smitty would go, "It's brother."
Hi to you, and it's time for us to divide.
That's split.
Oh,
That guy. Yeah. He left us, so he will be missed.
Rest in peace.
Rest
and you
in
caught
peace.
me up.
Yeah, I caught you up. That's what I do. I catch everybody up. So you do, yeah. I got back from Omaha, and you got back. You went on the Alabama coastline, took your Mach-E out that way.
I did.
Yeah,
and charged it all the way out there. Charged it all the way back, and really, it was just an outstanding trip and easily obtainable.
So you're telling me you had 2 issues, which this is interesting. Check this out if you don't. The adapter for the Tesla would overheat.
Yes.
Kind of like your iPhone. So if you leave it out in the sun and it doesn't work, and said you're too hot, that charger will do the same thing. Information you're not getting anywhere else. Ford's not giving you that information. The other dudes aren't giving you that information. This is good stuff. Yes, it's like your iPhone. You have to keep it in a cool place. Or what you did is put a towel over it. You can do that and maybe get by too. So you might spend a little bit more time out there if your charger gets hot, or you have to look for an alternate source. Good info, Dave. Thanks.
Well, and it was easy. And once I figured out that it was a temperature deal and not a car thing, and it wasn't, because I went to a different charger that didn't need the adapter, and it worked immediately. So I knew it wasn't the Ford. It had to be the Element. And so, you know me, I'm a nerd. I figured it out.
Yeah, exactly. See, a lot of people wouldn't. There was like, this thing just quit working for 45 minutes and not even think about it again. But yeah, he's a nerd and he thinks about that stuff.
True.
So, so let's talk about David Garrett again, because you always you bring some great stories. Speaking of great stories, you got so many of them. You ever think about writing a book?
Yes. And I've debated how I would go about that. And I've actually talked to a couple of sports writers that would be my writer along with me. But there were some people I need to run stories by first, and they weren't comfortable with some of the things that I might have said in the book. And as time goes on, the only reason why to write one would maybe be to tell the real story or get revenge or set the record straight. And I'm not that big a deal. And so to make the book worthwhile, I would really have to tell juicy stories that would piss everybody off except for me, because I'm getting benefit of them. And
right.
I value friendships too much and don't want to anger anybody. So I ran it by a couple of pros in the business. And then another big deal is I would tell some stories about my past, but I have daughters and they're in their 20s. I don't want to embarrass them. And so there are some things that might embarrass them. And I would protect that value that I have with those stories. But I've thought about it, and I've run it by a couple of well-known Oklahoma writers, and they didn't veto it, but we were going to have to dig deeper and
kind of had to break it down. What's the repercussions?
Yeah. Some people get their fifis hurt, and there would be a whole lot of that if I wrote a book, because I kept all receipts. I have good backup.
So you have a lot of stuff. I mean, you called so many things: Dallas Cowboys, the New Orleans Saints, baseball, Oklahoma State stuff,
Henryetta Fighting Hens.
Yeah. So if it was a 20-chapter book, how many chapters could you put interesting stuff about right here, Henryetta?
There would be one chapter. It'd be broken down into a couple of elements. It would be Henryetta pre-1995. And that's when I got the Cowboys job. Mm-hmm. And then Henryetta in the last 4 years. Those would be my two things that I would focus on. And some of that stuff is, it would be fun talking about it. And you might enjoy some of the stories if you knew who we were talking about. But I just don't think for mass audience, it would be big enough. And I just don't have to prove anything to anyone. Again, and I've kept receipts.
Why don't you just write it and then I'll read it? And
now, an attorney friend of mine advised once to go ahead and write the book and then burn it.
So you got the gig at 95. You were with the Saints before that. So you called a lot of NFL games. Who was the best quarterback you saw?
For accuracy, there isn't a doubt it's Troy Aikman. I mean, I've told the story before of him knocking a Coke can off the top of one of his linemen's head in a locker room. But Troy could put it where even the receivers didn't know where the ball was coming, but when they got there the ball was. And he's so accurate. He would win the Big Bear at the State Fair if you took him up there, and he'd hit all the targets. I watched a lot of great players, but Troy, of course, I got to see him every weekend. And Henryetta, he ran the ball a lot. scrambling or getting down the field because Henryetta wasn't that great when he was playing games.
Right.
But he was the best. He was the best accuracy quarterback, and it was a different game then. He was under center and dropped back for a lot of that because they have to protect the running game with Emmitt Smith. And so there were different elements of Troy's game that didn't get popularized because he didn't have to bring the Cowboys from behind hardly ever. They were already riding or using whatever strengths that they had to win all those ball games. So he doesn't get listed in, the arm of John Elway or the speed of Michael Vick, or I don't count any of that stuff. And of course, I got out of the game before Vick. But he was really awesome running the ball.
Troy?
No, Michael Vick.
Oh, Michael Vick. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I look back there and I look at the games and he's chunking it up to Michael Irvin. And Michael Irvin's getting covered by, say, Darryl Green, who's 5'10". Michael Irvin's, 6'6", 6'7". A bit vast difference. And it would look like the ball. I always doubted Troy's back then accuracy because he would underthrow the ball, and Michael would just snag it out of the air right over Darryl Green's head, or he would throw something out to the flat and Emmitt would take it 60, 70 yards. And I was just like, he ain't all that. He's got all this around it. But he knew what he was doing.
Oh, he put it where they can't get to it. And that's kind of one of Archie Manning's lines of, it might not be a pretty pass. Eli Manning won 2 Super Bowls, putting the ball where no one else could get to it except his guy. And a lot of times that's down at the ankle or on the hip or way overthrown because that's the only way my guy's going to catch it and your guy's not going to touch it. And Troy was just masterful at that.
Yeah, it looks like a bad ball because it's nowhere near his guy, but that's where it needed to be.
Right.
Nothing good could have happened if he would have thrown a good-looking ball.
Yeah, I saw Montana, Steve Young. I was thinking through the rosters just now of players, Dan Marino, late in his career, but I call games that he quarterbacked in. I haven't seen anybody as accurate as Aikman. Now, if you want to do other elements, I'll take winning ball games and accuracy, and you can have all the flash that you want. I'll take my guy.
And he damn sure did that, except year one. So, okay, you weren't there yet, but how close was it in his rookie year? Because I had 2 rookie quarterbacks that year. One who actually played for Jimmy Johnson, Steve Walsh.
Yes. Walsh came to New Orleans too, by the way.
So Steve was actually the only quarterback that year. Everybody looks back at Aikman's, he went 1-11 or whatever it was, 1-15. I don't know what it was. But he actually did not start the game that they won. Steve Walsh did.
Yeah.
How close was it between Steve Walsh and Troy Aikman? Because they had to make a decision.
Well, they're wide gap, but Jimmy Johnson, I understand his logic too. And sometimes, Brad, you don't know until you know. And there's no way you can look at film back in the day or time you in the 40 or what's your drop back speed or spins on the ball, the accuracy, so on and so forth. But you put on a big stage with lights on and you have to win. Troy shined and Steve Walsh didn't necessarily shine, but he was a great college quarterback and I guess won a national championship for Miami. I'm thinking back again. And Jimmy kind of liked his guy. But Troy, I think, won the job, and that was a couple years before I got to Dallas, but he won the job by process of elimination of we're not getting it done with this guy. Let's let the rookie or the first-year quarterback have his shots. And then, of course, they drafted a great team around him. Free agent signed a great team around him, and it was off to the races.
Yeah.
But Walsh wasn't better. And Troy has 3 Super Bowl rings, and and that's special. I mean, it's very. You look at that, and it's ho-hummed by some people because it's been so long ago. I don't know how many people are alive that remember all that. Our age and older, but our age and younger, they'll have to read about the Aikman book, which, by the way, is I'm told by sources might come out before Christmas.
I did not know. Look forward to that. So he's, what is that? 20, golly. 31 years
Yep.
since the last Super Bowl. That's a long time.
January 28th, 1996 was a 95 season, but they played the game the week before, February. Now they put it into TV ratings and pause another week and elongate the season to another game and so on and so forth. But it's stitched together a little differently now than it was back then. But what he accomplished, and with that team, what they accomplished, you just have to have the perfect storm, and Jerry was able to buy a perfect storm in Dallas until the storm got capped, and that's when Dallas started to fizz out because they couldn't keep all the studs.
Okay, so does a broadcaster get paid by the game or a
Yes.
contract for the year?
No, it's by the game. I mean, it was in my case, and I think for most broadcasters it is. A team goes to the College World Series, you make another 2 or 3 checks. The team goes all the way to the final game of the Final Four, you make 6 extra checks. Whether they win or lose that last game, you want them to win because you want your fans happy. But yes, we're paid by game, and a pretty nice sum of money, and you can live on it. And then, of course, there's additional things that I didn't have back in my broadcast day. I probably wouldn't have been very good at it anyway, but podcasting and stuff that we're doing right here, simulcasting a video at the same time as playing on the radio. We didn't have those kind of tools back then, or I might have splashed my face everywhere that way too. But you're paid by game. The more they win, the more you get paid. And you get paid the same amount for the preseason broadcast as we did for the regular season or postseason. Same flat amount.
Okay. So
For me, it was anyway.
So broadcasters not winning now because I think they've cut the pregame down. I think. Or they talked about it. And back then they played, 16 games?
16 and 4 in the preseason, unless you went to an American Bowl, and the Cowboys did a couple of times. I call one in Monterrey, Mexico, where you play a 5th preseason game. We played the Chiefs down in Monterrey. The Cowboys played in Mexico City in the American Bowl. I did a Saints game in Tokyo, Japan, the American Bowl. So
How's that?
I don't remember a lot of it.
Yeah. Too much sake.
I fell in love with Roppongi, and you can look that up. But no, I didn't have any money. I was broke, and it was really expensive in Tokyo, so I stayed at the team hotel.
I don't know. I can look it up. What's Roppongi?
It's a party district. It's the Stillwater Strip.
That's
Roppongi is the area where
it's not a drink. It's a It's a place.
It's a party place in Tokyo.
Right. A lot of sake.
I got to go there one night, but the rest of that I had to put on my hotel bill.
I was stationed in Korea, and they have a drink called soju that is made out of formaldehyde.
Close.
Yeah. Embalming fluid.
Yep.
Yeah. Folks, that'll get you there in a hurry.
Our alcohol turns into that when it's in us.
And it could get you there.
No, right. I get it.
Yep.
I would have drank it back in the day. I would have shot it.
Yeah. And they used to have T-shirts over there. One shot you're Superman, and I remember my name. Or 3 shots you're invisible. I don't know. It was just kind of.
So were you invisible very much?
Man, I had my moments.
Yeah.
Young. Nowhere to be.
Right.
Where can you go? It's not like you can go home.
Thank you for your service.
You're kind of stuck. Well, thank you, sir. You too. Thank you for supporting them Cowboys. Yeah. So 17 games. So now you would have made a little bit more money. Now they're still talking about trying to get more out of them.
Well, and they lessened the preseason by a game, so it really kind of equaled out.
Wash out, right?
Unless you played an American Bowl game, and then you get that bonus. But times are different now. You probably get a per game, and it's probably north of $3,000, and then you get you could sell your podcast on your own, or you might sign rights with your broadcast company that they have the rights to your stuff. The NFL owns most of those things. Back in my day, and so the individual things, really, it wouldn't be prosperous back in the day. It would be now because everybody has this social media tool, editing tools, podcasts. Some podcasts are more famous than television shows.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They can collectively aggregate, get more viewers or listeners.
television shows are trying to get some of these high volume, like Mr. Beast has got his own TV show now.
Yeah.
That just basically broke the internet. Yeah. He's got his own game show. Heck, on Roku, he's on all day. Mr. Beast show, just there all day. A lot of these guys are they're getting it. So yeah, it's out there. So yeah, I'll be on Roku here pretty quick. So we're getting real close. We're getting real close. David, you're gonna have to be my sidekick on it.
I would be.
Awesome.
I wouldn't charge you very much.
That's good because I don't have very much. We need more subscribers. You gotta get in here and so
we're gonna work on that, by the way.
Yeah. No, actually it is climbing. I think we're at I'm not even gonna say. I'm not gonna brag. I'll just know March we were at 80 something. I don't know if you look lately.
No.
In March, I joked around. And I said, by the end of the year, I want to get to 25,000 subscribers. I think we were at 78 when I popped off.
Less than 178 or 78?
Yes, 78.
Yeah, 78. Okay.
78.
Well, you put a clip out of one of the edits from one of the of these shows that we did, and I quit looking at it, but it had gotten up in a 70-something thousand views.
I know that's what you bring.
It got viral, and you get it spread out there, and somebody repeats it, and it took fire.
That's what happens when you got some good content and you got a guy that knows what he's talking about on the show with you. That's why I keep bringing him back. So, what else you got, man? Tell us some good, juicy stuff out there. Anything recent?
No, I mean, I'm going to school teach at Beggs. I'm going to teach sophomore English and journalism and broadcasting, and I'll help them with their Squirtle streamcasts.
Do in English. That's probably not. Who teaches them how to write cursive now?
They don't.
Or
we don't. And I wouldn't emphasize it either. You kind of follow the standards that Oklahoma wants you to put up. By the way, I've already written up my first semester lesson plans in English. I still haven't done journalism and broadcasting, but those assignments are coming, and we'll get it on there too. But cursive is probably going to come back, but it hasn't even been addressed. We're more about sentence structure and the storytelling, the ethos, pathos, logos of. I won't bore your audience here, but you got to get into some of that because there has to be some educating as well as having fun.
Well, I'm happy to hear that. Kind of. I didn't know you were all that, but all right. David Garrett, the professor over here, is getting it. And I'm good to hear that all those kids are getting a fine education because I was a little nervous. I've talked to a couple of them. But there's some good kids too.
Well, there's a lot of great ones. And I had to find a second industry. I mean, I think the broadcast business got toxic for me, and it was bad for my life. And so I made a big change when I moved home, and it really haven't looked back. It's been, and teaching has been part of what I call God's will for me.
I'm reading a book right now talking about cliffs and how life-changing stuff happens and how do we redefine like that. And it's looks like you're in the middle of that. Oh man, Kevin Ward's going to get after me. It just goes by so fast when you're in here with me.
We'll have you back every week, and it'll be fast every week.
Well, we're going to get you back. So I got to get out of here before Kevin Ward just tells me that I've gone over again in his email, which I'm going to get, and I have gone over, and that's all right. So not really. I won't do it again. Don't get me. Hey, Love Ford, get out here. Come see me. You got some smoking deals out there, better than employee pricing on a lot of this stuff. And you get the 15-year, 150,000-mile warranty, and you get a shot at getting your loan paid off. Get in here. Highway 75 and I-40. Or go to iloveford.com. As always, that's LUV, baby. Peace. LUV, baby.
Go to Henryetta.